Peace. We'll start this video, we'll start this build at the 2-minute mark. So if you get to this video after the live, just start it at the 2-minute mark. That's when we'll begin the build. Peace. If you are on a live, just begin with some deep breaths and really center yourself to really hear the message before you start your day. This is a new day, new energy. So we're gonna just take it all in with the centered, focused point of view. Tomorrow is gone, today is a new day. So what are we gonna do about it? What does the day say about the energy? What is the energy of the day? How could we utilize it? How could we better ourselves with it? Once again, family, we will start at the 2-minute mark. Got about 30 seconds to breathe deeply and center yourself and just understand the message for yourself, how to apply it in your life today. We're going to deal with some astrology. We're going to deal with some tarot. We're also going to deal with some weather. It's going to be interesting. Okay. Peace, family. This is the Hoodmystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. It is early. I prepared my notes yesterday and things of that nature, but it's still early and I still have to kind of piece it all together. I'm by myself this morning. Just me and the children. My wife is gone this morning, so if we are interrupted by 2 toddlers, let you know in advance, this thing is able to happen. And so the build, the energy reading for today. Today is Tuesday. 2 is a god from Nordic mythology. Yes, 2, or Tyr, T-Y-R. Interesting, the god of law, the god of heroic glory. So when we say Tuesday, we are honoring the god too. So it's important to understand the energy of the day other than it's just being Tuesday, because then you're mindlessly honoring an energy that you know little about. So understand that that's the one-handed god, and if you don't know about 2, you should know about 2 because you've been uttering the mantra of Tuesday your whole life, possibly unknowingly. The etymology of 2 is just simply God. So just today is God's day. But it's a more ancient God than the God of today, if you was to say, but he still wants his reps, so they honor him. So basically in Western society is a polytheistic worshiping of all these various gods, but then to the normal person who can't handle all of these different gods, they just tell you that there's just one God that's just ruling this place and all of this. But really, we honor a multitude of gods throughout our days. So it's something to do your research on. The god 2. And so 2 is also the god of Mars. And today in our energy and our astrology, we'll be taking a deep dive into Mars and really understanding what Mars is talking about. Basically looking at the decan that it falls in and then the placements that happens around it. And then we'll also look at the moon because we want to talk about those dreams that we had last night. Some crazy shit, right? And what that was actually talking about. So the Mars conjunct the nodes opposing the North Node in the Sun is a very interesting and powerful time right now. Where does Mars and the North Node fall at? Well, it falls at in the first decan of Aquarius. So we want to deep dive this first decan of Aquarius and see how Mars is acting in this first decan. And so we really want to talk about this because if paying attention to these energy readings and staying focused on the astrology like you are, this is a representation of Mars doing this back and forth over the nodes, because it's really a point that the universe is trying to make clear to you. And so Mars is really about action, and so very a mundane action at that, very active in the world. And so now that Mars is on top of the nodes in the first decan of Aquarius, it's a different type of action. It is more magic and more love-based type of action, more deeper, intuitive type of action. It is on top of the South Node, which is our past lives. So the actions that we are making now is more of a higher octave, more of a different breed of how we want to deal and act in our daily lives. We need to switch up the routine for real. So if this is how this will show up very bad for you, if you are not doing different things, or if different things are placed upon you and you are like, oh my God, now I don't have to go to work anymore and I hated it. Give me a second. All right, sorry about that. So this is how we actually do this astrology. We take a lot of different different energies and put them together and then come up with a different flavor. We do this all the time, whether it be cooking, whether it be putting on an outfit with different accessories we want to put on. You know, we as humans, we do this all the time. So when we deal with the astrology, we just do the same thing. This is just basically cooking, but on a different level. So we just really want to talk about it in plain English for the laymen who don't know Mars and Jupiter and Uranus and all of that. I just wanted to throw that in there for the astrology nerds, but now I'm gonna really talk about what it really means for you in your personal life. So since we have Venus in Virgo, we have to really understand that Uranus with Venus in Virgo is not an existential love, it is a love of self. So when we have Mars in the first decan of Aquarius, that is true love of self. And so if it just passes by here, we might get the insight to love ourselves. But if it is a full retrograde on top of a lunar eclipse, on top of a south node, then it's like, oh, you better you better love yourself. It is not playing with you. It's very active and very forceful. Mars will help you with your practical magic because you're dealing with your south node. That is where your magic is stored. That is your suitcase from all of your past lives. So if Mars is on top of that, it's going to be rummaging through that suitcase like, oh, this is some polyester, I don't want to wear that. Oh, this is a crown. I like this, let me put that on. So the concept between transcendence and ascendance. So a lot of us have been trying to make it go up, ascend the ladder of success, but that is something that you can see that is beyond, that is within your limits of conception. So when we have Mars on top of the south node, we are outside of our conception, we are outside of our limits. So we are separating ourselves from the ascenders. We are the transcenders. And if you look up the definition for transcendence, it is beyond your limits. So we have to go outside of the things that we already think that we know, the places that we already think that we're going to go. When we always take a left, today we take a right, because we understand transcendence. We understand Mars energy. Mars energy is very abstract with all of this because it's ruled by Saturn as well. So when you deal with Saturn, you deal with everything abstract. That's like the abstract capital. So all of this energy must be taken differently. There must be something different that you must do. In life, we are faced with challenges. We all, every single one of us, including you, have a challenge that you must overcome. So these challenges are representations of illusions that once you apply action, once you apply Mars, they begin to disappear, to no longer exist. So that barrier, that problem that you had is really an illusion, but you don't know it's an illusion until you run up on it. We have to begin to see beneath the surface and really look deeper into it. We're dealing with Mars. We're talking about Mars. We're talking about Tuesday. We're talking about action. So what actions do you plan to take? From what place? But once we get into the moon, I really like the moon will help you understand what's happening on the astral world. The astral world is a precursor to what's happening on this world. But I gotta get into that too. So all of this is taking place. This is your spiritual energy rising and your mundane life falling and crumbling right before your eyes. So you could either be sad with Mars energy and this, like, it's like, it feels like somebody is torturing you. Somebody is putting the fire to your ass, but it's really not like that. You're really caught up in a whole bunch of illusions and somebody is just trying to free you from all of those illusions. So what are you going to take? So when we take action, then we see, and then we have that deep realization. If we do nothing, Uranus loves when you do nothing, because it will fuck with you so bad. When you're in a bad relationship and you do nothing, when you're in a bad employment space and you do nothing, when you around people who are abusive and you do nothing, Uranus will toy with you and torture you forever. It like, until you do something, until you stand up, until you face your fears, until you deal with the reality. This is what this retrograde is about, because the energy that's sitting on top of all of this is Uranus. The person who brought fire from the gods and gave it to the human beings, even though that's Prometheus, but Prometheus and Uranus. When you talk about these Roman deities, there is no such thing. That's an illusion. Astrology is an illusion within itself. When we discuss these astrological concepts, the names throw us off. The energy is what keeps us together and keeps us focused and moving forward as a community. We can all call these things different names, but I'll talk about it and then give you deep elaborations on the particular energy and how they show up for your life. So when I say Uranus brought fire from the god, I'm really talking about Prometheus, but it's the same energy, same idea. And when you deal with Uranus energy, people do not like you because you're waking other people up. But you have to understand that as the waker upper. Pituitary. Uranus is also the pituitary gland, the master gland that controls our hormone balance. So how do we master our hormone balance throughout our day? Through calm understanding that this is what we need to do. We have to relax. We have to calm ourselves down, because if we truly want solutions, we can't find solutions in rage and anger, and Mars speaks to that too. So if you find yourself in anger, in rage, know that you're disrupting your master gland, your pituitary gland. You're disrupting your hormonal balance. You will not find solutions. When you find solutions is when you are at an even keel. Not gonna really get into anger. We can, but I'm not. So what I will say is, if you focus on the anger and the sadness and the pain during this day, you will trap yourself, because Mars on top of the nodes in Aquarius is like walking on quicksand. You have to be very careful. You have to understand the laws. Tuesday is the day of the law. You break the law, is nothing that I can do for you. Nothing that your mama can do for you. Nothing that your job can do for you when you break the law, when you're outside of the law. And you have man-made laws, and you also have universal laws. All of these things are well documented. I talk about it. There are books that talk about it. These things exist in this world. There are words that exist in this world. There are words of power in this world. There are all types of things that are used to help you, immobilize you, and transform you from a man to a god. But are you paying attention to it? Are you using your action towards it? Mars energy, Tuesday. Please. Where are you comfortable at? Wherever you comfortable at, that's somewhere that you want to be really looking at to really shake some stuff up, because you're not really comfortable. There's no such thing as comfortability in this world in 2018. There is shit to do. There is so much shit to do. I can't imagine you niggas relaxing. I don't even understand that concept. Maybe for an hour while I eat my dinner, I watch sharp objects. But other than that, I'm working. There's so much shit that I don't know. And I know a lot of stuff. So, you know, we have so much work to do. And this is what Mars is talking about. And this is something that we are pulling from. The luggage that we're pulling from is from our ancestral energy. So let's work from that perspective. Let's realize ourselves from that perspective. Please. That was the astrology. Oh, let me talk about the moon real quick before I get to these cards. Now, the dreams, I just want to talk about the moons and relate them to our dreams, because as this picture, whoop, right here, right? That's that fire-breathing dragon outside of New Orleans. Somebody was doing some magic, spewed some shit into the atmosphere, baby. Look at that. That was a weather map of July 23rd, 2018. I seen that yesterday. And I felt very fortunate to understand the energy that was coming on the planet throughout the east coast of the United States. That's where I'm located. So, where my family's located. So, the dreams last night, lo and behold, was a lot of destruction on the astral world. So I was on the astral world, I was in my dream body, and then I got further removed from my dream body. And then I seen the whole astral world like just being destroyed, fire. And a lot of it, of what I saw, was a lot of energy that was plaguing me in the astral world in my unconscious mind. I seen people who I was envious of, or people that I like back in the day envy, like little kid envy. Like not even like not no, I wasn't dreaming of no young pharaoh or not, like, but no, like back in the day, like shit was just burning up. And this was relative to my energy. I really want people to get into that Jupiter Explained video, and then if you don't even want to listen to the video, if you want to listen to how to activate, fast forward to where I'm talking about Jupiter Amon and really how to work that hippocampus. Because that's what we've been doing all day. And yesterday we had a men's group meeting where I led a meditation, and it was 10, 11 of us all focused on our hippocampus. And the responses that I got from that, where people was like, you know, I hate meditating. That was some bullshit. Like, but when we did the hippocampus meditation, it was like, I like that though. So we just some basic normal 1, 2, 3, basic normal meditation, but the consciousness is focused on your hippocampus and realizing that them is your devil horns, and this is your illumination, and this is how you raise yourself up, and this is how you create new thoughts for yourself. But that's all explained in the Jupiter Explained video. Make sure you go check that out. Not even for views, so you can get over yourself and really enlighten yourself and illuminate yourself. That's what it's about. 2018 and beyond, we are really turning ourselves into gods. And so like this is shit is for free. And for real, this is some shit that, you know, I'm sure people charge thousands of dollars, like millions of dollars to learn. How to awaken yourself, how to illuminate yourself And what's funny is you may think that it takes some $1 million retreat or $1,000 retreat, or, you know, you got to learn from this guru, or you got to get a reading and pay this amount of money to get open yourself up. But you don't need none of that shit. What's the tilt game like today? Ooh. Oh, right there. Right there, baby. Six of Swords. Tomorrow I have some pictures like right there. When I be like, Six of Swords, you'll be able to see it. I don't know, it just clicked on me because the lighting be so crazy and I'm dark, these cards light, it just don't work out. You feel me? So we gonna do just like we did New Orleans. I need to get to New Orleans, so anybody wanna send me a ticket, you gotta send me 4 tickets though. We'll take a bus, but we just need to go to New Orleans, and once we get down there, we will not bother you, I promise. We need to get down there because there's real shit happening down there. Six of Swords is really about, so at the beginning of this tarot reading, we have Mercury in Aquarius, and at the end of this reading, we have the moon in Aquarius. And so we just really want to focus on this Aquarius energy, and it's really about learning, being a master, being an expert. Mercury and Aquarius, like, you understand changes, you understand patterns, and most people just understand their feelings. So you master this situation through your knowledge, through your information today. What do you know, and how can you apply it? What patterns have you been seeing, and what are you going to do now that you know those patterns? How are you going to make some money, or whatever the case may be? The tilt game is back. Two of Wands, initiative. So these cards are in threes, like chunks of threes. So, and the Princess of Cups. So all of this together, the Six of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Princess of Cups, through our research, creates an initiation today that leads to our transformation. What do we know? How can we apply it to our lives and initiate it? And then when we do that, that leads to the transformation. This is today, July 24th, 2018. I'm going to say that one more time. Our information, Six of Swords, put with the Two of Wands, are Mars and Aries. Action, getting shit accomplished. Being the first one to do it, not waiting for nobody to tell you, you know what, you should do this. No, we off that. No suggestions, no advice. Pure intuition, pure initiation. This leads to true transformation. This leads to true godhood. We're going to avoid advice today. So I said these is in threes. These is in threes. So we got the Eight of Swords, Nine of Wands, and then the Two of Swords. Eight of Swords, Nine of Wands, Two of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is like, stop listening to people. F advice. Fuck advice. Forget advice. Admonish advice. Disregard advice. There is no need for advice. What is advice? Why are you telling me this? Let me listen to myself right now. Let me deal with my Nine of Wands energy. Let me deal with my Sun in Sagittarius. Let me deal with my past. Let me deal with my Jupiter. I said path. Let me deal with that. What advice do you have for me again, sir? Interesting. And this is going to lead for the Two of Swords. Really balancing, really finding peace within this Aquarian energy. Because the energy that rules the Two of Swords is the moon the moon in Libra. My apologies. But ultimately, finding balance in your overall approach and how you relate to people. Because you don't have to be mean when they're like, you know what, you should do this. I should. Why should I do this? Like, indulge in shit today because you know so deeply that you have a path. You know exactly where your power comes from. If you don't know where your power comes from, make sure you hit me up at hoodmystic@gmail.com. I will tell you where your power comes from. And I won't tell you outside of yourself either. And this is very difficult for people to understand because you've been programmed to think that something outside of you is going to save you. And it's not. But you just don't know how to activate yourself. So you may need to get at me. Hoodmystic@gmail.com to support this content so we can keep this thing going. Patreon.com/TheHoodMystic. If you took anything from this, if you value anything from this, it is not going to hurt you to spend $1 with me. So that's just the energy reading for July 24th. I am the Hoodmystic. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know I'm turned up all the time, and or sometimes I be laid back. I don't even know if this live even went through because the internet connection was so crazy. So I'll end this stream now and look back at it and see what I need to do forwardly. Peace, y'all. But make sure you email me at hoodmystic@gmail.com if any of this came through, or let me check.